Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Powerful Man Show. I am your host, Doug Holt, with my co-host, Tim, the Powerful Man Matthews. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Really enjoyed that last one we just did. So I'm curious to see where this one leads.
Yeah, I am too. I had plans. I usually get up in the morning, Tim, around 4:25 is when my alarm goes off. I usually get up before that in the morning and do my morning routine and go through it before the day starts. And here we are. It's 8 a.m. my time. But last night was a cluster. So it didn't really work out. So, but today, one thing that I was thinking about, and I was talking to a guy that you and I both know, and the topic is what to do when you're bored with your spouse.
Ooh.
Yeah. What to do when you're bored with your spouse.
Okay. Yep.
So clearly, now that I know that your partner listens to this show, gotta be a little bit more careful. No, I know you never get bored of Amelia, and it just never happens. So let's talk about that. What are some things guys find themselves in this situation quite often, right? You get complacent after a while. I'll set the scene a little bit. You've been married for a while. Before you got married, you did cool adventures. You get great dates, whether it be art shows, movies, hiking mountains, backpacking, playing sports, or just hanging out with friends at barbecues. You did a lot of cool stuff, right? And you found nuances about your wife you didn't know. What? You like this kind of music? That's amazing. I didn't know that about you. Oh, when you were a kid, you played soccer.
Ukulele.
Didn't know that. What's that?
Ukulele.
You played ukulele, exactly. Or whatever it may be, right? You found out these nuances. Now, over the time kids came in the mix, if that especially happens to a lot of us guys, is you and your partner become zombies. I'm in that stage right now, guys, where I have two young ones. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, just turned 10 months. So I'm in the thick of it where last night I was up all night, you're just tired. So you become in that zombie state, and that time goes on. Now, maybe it's teenagers you have, and you just kind of know, right? Chris Rock does a funny monologue on this, and I'm not going to ruin it by trying to do the exact monologue. But he basically says, couples, they look at each other, come home, how was your day? Fine. How was your day? Fine. And they look at each other and go, why don't you get yourself kidnapped and have some new shit happen, right? The point is, again, you got to go watch the monologue. I hate to repeat comedians because their delivery is so on point. The point is, though, is we get bored. We think we've figured out our partner, and we get complacent. They become our roommates. Then we have the arguments, and then we just don't even want to be near them, right? We want to be in the man cave. We want to be somewhere else other than with them, right? Mm-hmm. And in fact, dating apps now, Bumble, I saw this on, can't remember where it was, but Bumble has a new ad, and they threw it out. And Bumble's one of these dating sites. I'm sure you don't know about it, Tim. But Bumble's one of these dating sites where you can find people. And their catchphrase now is he or is she quarantine worthy? Right? Ooh. In other words, are you going to be willing to spend the time with them alone? So, Tim, what do you do when you get bored with your partner?
Yeah, great topic. I think the first thing you got to look at is yourself as well, right?
100%.
The whole point of the Live as a King system is to really have men take charge of their lives again, right? The Alpha Rise and Shine, the Alpha Decompression, Inside Out Living, all goes into a nice recipe, which, sees them rise. And it all starts there. It really does. Because if, one of the guys who just went into the Brotherhood, the way he described it, he actually said, Tim, I've heard you talk before about how you don't even realize it, but, you start living in black and white and everything just becomes mundane. Same routine, same business, same problems, same everything, right? And he said, I didn't realize it, but that's where I was. And now it's like I've had those glasses ripped off and I can see the colors. I can see it. Life is vibrant again. And this guy started to take up his hobbies again. He started to get into his fitness again. He has started to take care of himself again. He's taken it on his responsibility to the CFO of the household, the chief fun officer. And that's brought a completely new energy to himself and his life, but also the relationship, which by default has piqued the curiosity of his wife. So she's now thinking, oh, what's going on over there? She's been drawn to him more. They're having different conversations, new conversations, even about the same stuff. They're just going deeper. They're realizing things about one another that they never realized before. And also as a result, because he's showing up in this way and he's leading, well, guess what? She's starting to pick up her own hobbies as well. But she's giving them new things to talk about. And sex is becoming more often and more spontaneous and more varied because it's that energy in the relationship that's just starting to circulate, right? So, yeah, number one for sure is starting with yourself, in my opinion.
No, I agree, right? Go do something different and get exciting. And what I've seen happen with so many guys, and this is not a plug for the program, guys, but going through any program, I almost feel like we can't mention the program because it sounds like we're plugging it. But the truth is, I'd be lying because I spend so much time in it. That's the guys I talk to. So going through something different, having new revelations yourself is critical, right? That could be a new hobby, right? We had a guy that took up shooting bow and arrow in the backyard. Right. And I mentioned that to my wife, Tim, and she's like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. I'm like, what? I grew up in Southern California, right? There's nobody shooting bow and arrows in Southern California. It shocked me, right? So I got a chance to learn something new about her. But bringing in those types of conversations and making sure that your life is fun, that your life is interesting first, right? Because if you're bored with her, chances are she's bored with you, bro. Like chances are you've gotten boring. And to Chris Rock's point, go get kidnapped, right? Have some new shit happen. Right?
Disclaimer, don't get kidnapped. Only if you want to get kidnapped. Yeah, I mean, most guys jump straight to date nights, don't they? They'll be like, right, I'm bored. Let's go do date nights. But that's like trying to skip to step 3. It's just too far ahead of where they are. They've first got to be able to take care of themselves, which by default is going to shift the perspective in how they see the wife anyway, and how they see the relationship anyway, because they're seeing themselves differently. So it's just the way it is. The lens through which they see the world changes, right? Like that guy said, it's like he's got a different pair of glasses, black and white to color. But yeah, if you listening and you're thinking, right, yeah, date nights, and maybe you've tried date nights and they've not landed, and then you've thought, oh, well, I knew it. I knew she wasn't. I knew she wouldn't be up for it. I knew this wouldn't work. And you're just going into that story of believing it's affirmed all of your worst fears. Then, I'd have you consider that that's, maybe because you went a step too far ahead.
Yeah. So some other things, right? So step 1, work on yourself, right? That's step 1, the first thing you need to do. Step 2, do some different stuff. We say work on yourself. I'm talking about personal development, whatever that means to you, right? Taking a course, reading books, what have you. Immersion is always the best way to do anything, right? For learning a foreign language, everybody knows if you immerse yourself in the culture of the country, you're going to learn probably 100x, right? Not even 10x, but like so much more. Same thing with personal development, right? Go do something else, right? Go do something amazing. Tim and I are talking about doing the Wim Hof experience in Poland, right? Talk about immersion.
Don't tease me.
But I mean, that's immersion, right? I did 10-day Vipassana, 10-day silent meditation. You come out of there just a different person, right? Or different experiences anyway, whatever it may be for you. All right. Step 3, right, is change the conversations. So one thing that we do in my house, Tim, that's not unique, but we do it a lot. We do it in different ways, is we use something called table topics. I don't know if you've heard of that. We've used it when you've been over. You've stayed at my house. I'm sure we brought it out. So table topics, the book of questions. I used to use the book of questions when I was dating. There's the book of questions for sex and love. There's table topics. So
Magic Moments, is it? Is that the same as table
topics?
No.
No. Sorry. Table topics is actually a product. And
really?
I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Wish I was. But basically imagine that it's a acrylic box that's, about I'm not going to do inches, but you can do the conversion, 4 inches by 4 inches. And there's cards in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each card has a topic, a question. I have them upstairs, but questions could be something like, where's one place in the world you'd love to see the sunset, right?
Nice.
Generic, but this is but you can get different ones. You can escalate. So most of the guys listening to this get the general ones. There's family ones. We ask our kids, right? Our kid, well, not my 10-month-old. We do ask her, right? By the way, she doesn't answer, but we include her just so my son sees it. But then they also have ones that take the notches up, more about relationships, right? More about sex. You can get different varieties of this. If your home life isn't great, guys, don't jump to the sex one. You're not ready for it. She's not ready for it. Your relationship's not ready for it. But table topics is a good way because you find out some new things, right? My wife, her belief systems have changed since I married her. Whoa, right? Not mind-blowing to me at all because I realized my belief systems have changed, right? As people age, they tend to get more conservative. Just case in point, right? Younger people tend to be more liberal. As you get older, you tend to be more conservative.
More fun.
Young people need to be more fun. That could be it. So when Tim and I hang out, we get the chance to hang out together. I'm still going to bed at 8:00. But so you want to know what's changed for different topics. Maybe you guys have some fundamental different views on parenting, and that's what's putting a wedge in your relationship. You just didn't know. But maybe your wife is really into some kinky shit, and you just didn't know that. A lot of guys, after they go through the program, it's one of the things they find out is, holy cow, by not being the man that I knew I could be, I was preventing my wife from being the woman that she wanted to be in the bedroom. So that happens. And so I guess that's step 4. I can't remember, but step 4 is get some new conversations happening at your home, right? Get some new topics. Table topics is great. You can get it on Amazon. There's tons of books you can do. I like table topics. It's easy. We use them at parties, Tim, and having people over. They're icebreakers. Just makes it easy and fun to do and go for.
Yeah, I think it's a great one. I mean, at that point, that's, once you've got those down, and this isn't going to happen overnight either. This is like probably a 3, 4, 5 month plan here.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes happens faster, but at that point, that's when you can start reintroducing or introducing different date nights. Maybe you could even there was a book that I just bought Amelia and I, actually. I think you got it as well. 50 date nights. It arrived today, actually. And the idea of this book is that you open them up, obviously together, and you scratch it off. It's a random date night that you then go and do. So point being is, you'll then be in a position to be able to do those kind of things because the safety and the connection, the trust will be there. So the foundation, essentially. But to be honest, guys, you may not even want to introduce things like that because by this point, when you've done these first few things, taking the lead, looking at yourself first, introducing table topics and new conversations, you're going to be in a completely different relationship anyway, which inevitably will spill over into intimacy. So at that point, the date nights and the variation there becomes a bonus, really. You'd be surprised at what you thought was the problem versus what the problem actually is. It's going to really turn things around for you. There might be an issue with boredom, let's say, or a lack of intimacy. But when you actually do these things, you realize, oh, hang on a minute, I was trying to solve the wrong problem over there by going and, selecting date nights and, trying to take the lead and surprise my wife and say, hey, look, you just be ready on Friday night at 6 p.m. wearing this because I'm taking you there. And she's like, what? No. What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with that? And before you know it, your bubble has been burst and you just think, whatever. It's not because your wife doesn't want it. It's not because she's the wrong woman. It's not because your marriage sucks. All those things might be true as well, but I imagine it's not because of those things, just because you're starting in the wrong position. Articulate as well. That's a great board game to play. Although you kind of have to do it in partners, that might not work as well. But that's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of games. In fact, a long time ago, I looked for games for couples to play by themselves, right? And not just sexual games, but like ones that would be engaging for 2 people, more than just Scrabble, right? My wife likes Scrabble, not my thing. Going through.
You know what was funny? Amelia and I got into chess by this time last year, and my competitive nature just came out. Right, she kept beating me, and I'm like, I'm not standing for this. So I went on YouTube and I start googling like, chess moves or whatever. Next time I played her, I just 3 or 4 moves, boom, won. And she's like, you just taken all the fun out of it. Why did you have to go and like Google those moves? Like, I don't know how to play, and you keep beating me, and that feels, I want to win. So that, I just share that, guys, because just be mindful of what games you bring in and whether you allow your competitive nature to come out, because that's definitely not the experience that she will want to have, or even you want to create. I mean, it's good to throw it in here and there, but definitely not start getting into competition where you've got to win every time. So I'll hold my hands up to that one. I made a bit of a faux pas there.
It's hilarious. Something else, guys, I've done this before, is you stop having the little surprises in your relationship, right? Because you live together, you're going through the routine right now with COVID, especially, here where I am, we're on a lockdown right now, Tim. And I'm actually going through the first time the lockdown blues. I didn't get them the first round. Now I'm like, I'm ready to get out. Yesterday was rough. But you stop doing the spontaneous stuff. And we think about it. My big thing used to be when I surprised my wife, it was huge, right? It was like, hey, just get ready. And she'd pack one bag and I have a bag packed, and I take her away for like 2 weeks. And I've had all her friends surprise her at a hotel. Like, we rented the whole hotel and did an epic backpacking trip. And this is all one event. And, you wait for those big things to happen. And people used to talk about our big surprises. But what about the little ones that happen in between? The little daily ones, not just date night, but, little flowers. Hey, I picked up flowers, or I picked up your favorite latte. Didn't ask. You don't ask for it, right? Do you want another coffee or whatever it is? You just do it. You just do it. It's the little surprises, the notes that you know that she's going to find, right? The little note on there just says you're thinking about her, a smiley face, or the text message right now with a heart, right? Or the little kiss emoji. Use the.
She's upstairs thinking about you from downstairs.
Yeah. I mean, that's the deal. I mean, you talked about in a previous podcast how Amelia said that you guys don't see each other during the day. Yet you, in your point of view, you see her all the time, right? That was a big reflection for me, because I think, man, I see my wife all the time when I run upstairs to get food or play with the kids or whatever it is. But maybe she's not seeing that. So surprises, right? That's another one. You're not getting those little surprises. You've lost the spontaneity in the relationship.
Can I add something on that, Doug? I know you're in flow, but can I add something?
Sure.
Thank you. You're so kind.
Of course you can,
man. And again, guys, I might sound like a broken record, but it comes back to you as well. Having spontaneity in your own life. It reminds me of a post of one of the guys yesterday. And again, this isn't a plug. It's just an example of how you can do this, right? This guy has been talking about wanting to go out and do some ice skating. Lives in Canada, wanting to go out and do some wild skating. But, he's been, I don't have the time, I don't have the people, whatever, right? He's been encouraged by the coaches to just get it done. So he found a random Facebook group and met up with 3 other guys for a wild mountain skate. And he's got some pictures. These guys, never met before. You could argue it might be a bit dangerous, but maybe not. But the point being is he's seizing the day, right? He's going out there, taking advantage of what he really wants to do, that spontaneity. And he's got kids and, he's in a relationship. But he's taking advantage of that spontaneity and then bringing that back with him as well, which then, if he's acting that way and he's including those little things into his own life, then these little notes, like Doug's saying, they become so much easier, because it's not something you're trying to do then. It's just who you are. It's how you're acting. So again, if you have it start with you, it's going to be so much easier to carry it into the relationship.
Yeah, it is, right? You can only change yourself. You can't change another person. The cool thing is when you do changes in yourself, spontaneity with yourself, the other person tends to change, right? That's just the way it is.
I wonder if anyone else heard doo-doo.
What's that?
Wonder if anybody else heard doo-doo. When you do.
When you do.
Friends episode. Doo-doo.
Your 14-year-old. You and my 3-year-old would get along just fine. You
Gotta
both
have
would be in
some
the
fun,
corner
right?
laughing at each other.
You gotta have some fun.
Another thing that you want to do, is set goals for your relationship.
Mhm.
What are the goals, right? Tim and Amelia are working right now. You've said this publicly with an intimacy coach, right? You're setting goals. You're pushing the boundaries of getting to know each other. It's not comfortable stuff. I've worked with the same coach. It's not comfortable stuff, and you hired a coach that would push you, right? That's the idea. You don't hire a coach that's going to be easy. That's not what you're looking for. But where else can you do that? Where else can you set goals for your relationship? Financial goals, vacation goals, right? Make it fun though. What else do you want to do? You want to learn something together. Cooking class. We have a guy in the brotherhood who posts his cooking stuff all the time. He's an amazing chef. If he's listening to this right now, I am fully expecting a meal from you one time next time I come to the UK, my friend.
Yeah. Shared Pinterest board.
Share a Pinterest board. It's another great one, right?
Places you want to go, things you want to do to the house, whatever. Health goals. Share it.
Yeah, that's good. It's another great idea of going through. There's a lot of little things you can do there. But right now in the midst of COVID, right? One thing that you can do is spend time with yourself. And I say this because right now with COVID, we're so restricted, a lot of us, because you guys in the UK are on lockdown again, right? Right now? Is that correct?
I think we'll come out of it next week.
Yeah, so do we, theoretically, right? But you're just around your family and your friends. I mean, excuse me, not your friends, maybe some of your close ones that you're choosing to be with. But point being is it's harder to find space for yourself right now for a lot of guys. Take that time to yourself. Equally as important, create that space for your partner to have time by herself and make sure that's there as well. And guys, I can guarantee, right? Money back podcast guarantee here. I'll give you your $0 back. But if you take these things and you implement them, you're going to see dramatic shifts, right? But it always starts, as Tim said, with working on yourself. Take a course, better yourself, right? I always joked, when I was in my 20s, Tim, people asked, well, are you going to get married? I said, no, my stock is still going up. Why would I sell right now? Right? It was an arrogant 20-year-old guy thing to say. But think about your stock as a man. Is it going up? Right? You're getting older, but is your stock going up? Are you aging like a fine wine? Physically, mentally, are you taking advantage? Are you investing in yourself? As Tim knows, my wife and I as a couple are looking at making a $25,000 investment in our marriage coming up pretty soon. We're setting goals, right? Not because things are bad, because what's the next level for us, the next step up to do it, right? It's going to be a lot of time, obviously significant capital, but what's worth it, right? Is it worth it? Is it not? If you say your relationships are the most important things, which all of us do, then are you investing in them? We've laid out, 20 things you could do, guys, right here, but it all starts with investing in yourself. Not necessarily financially, but definitely with time and definitely with a commitment to really step in and own it.
Yep, totally agree. So often the guys invest in business, right? Let's turn up the ad spend. Let's hire this coach. Let's make that decision, right? They're always investing in some way or reinvesting in the business. And just imagine what might be possible if you were to apply that same mindset to investing in yourself. It's game changer.
Absolutely. Well, Tim, thanks again for being here. Gentlemen, I want to honor you guys for spending some time with us. You could be doing anything right now and you're bettering yourselves. You guys are truly the 1%ers. And I love that about you. If you're new here, go over to thepowerfulman.com/bonus. That's thepowerfulman.com/bonus. Grab a free training, right? Completely free, no strings attached. Our way of giving back. Tim and I spent time crafting that, going through there. Tim did the bulk of that work. I just polished it up a little bit.
Grammar police.
Grammar police. No, the stuff that you guys like in that training is all me. The rest of it was all Tim. And gentlemen, if you've been with us for a while, please leave a review so other men like you can find us and do something. This is what I used to do, Tim, is when I was trying to expand my network of great guys, I would share podcasts that I was listening to. And it makes you feel a little uncomfortable, right? But the guys who are receptive to it are the guys right now that I'm still in contact with, the guys that I've developed bonds with and friendships with. So guys, share this episode with another man just like you. Until then, guys, have an amazing week. Do something different. Work on yourself. And we'll see you next time on The Powerful Man Show.